And we're back.
Just
Oh, this is going to be rough.
All right, guys, welcome back to another We Talking About. Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 11 of iZombie. Did you watch it?
No, I'm just going to wing it. Don't let on, though.
All right, you tell me where it started.
Be very unprofessional. All right, I watched this a couple days ago, and I totally forgot everything about it.
Perfect.
Kid snuff films, sick library lady.
So this episode starts off with you meet the librarians, and some kid is trying to come in, and he gets kicked out. And then it flashes forward to a little bit later where that kid's back in the library, and he's trying to tip over the stacks to kill librarian. And I was like, oh, how refreshing. This is the first time that they've really showed the murder, and it's going to be like a thing, try to find them and work their way backward or something. And I'm like, that'll be cool. That wasn't what happened.
That's funny as shit.
And then immediately hey, you, what are you doing? Oh, and he just runs away, and then the librarian just dies.
That Susan Sarandon looking fucking librarian comes in, coughs up blood.
Yep. Coughs up like jelly blood.
That was weird.
I was like, is she disintegrating? I picture them some weird thing don't, and then it comes back, she's dissolved from the inside.
Or so, I thought because it looked gross and weird, so I thought it was something to do with zombieism in some way.
That's what they want you to
But
think.
it was totally not.
No.
But Robbie figured out that it was hemlock, and he wanted an attaboy, and Clive obliged.
Because I found some hemlock in a stool.
Did he say stool?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he said something else. That's great.
Yeah, some undigested hemlock or something in her stool, or some bullshit like that. This episode I kind of like, though. Did you like this episode overall?
Let me just. Yes.
A lot happened in it. Some of it was dumber than other things, but it was interesting. Just to go over just real quick some of the dumb things to maybe spark some memory in here. So the dog's tracker gets turned on, and they go to find the dog.
That was great.
And Major takes a fucking Red Bull.
That was so dumb. All right, so
goes ham.
Do you ever use the word dumb and it's a good thing?
I've seen it used like dope. Oh, that was stupid
dumb.
fly.
I've adopted this way of being like, oh, that'd be great. Oh, it's so dumb. Oh, we gotta do that. Like that sort of thing. And some of the things, I think multiple things in this episode were like, I mean, we didn't set it up or anything, but yeah, right? He's like, I'm gonna go do parkour across town because it's rush hour.
It's rush hour. There's no better time to go, or something like that. He says because he knows that their car will get all the better because their car will be stuck and he'll zip off. Yeah. So he does this and he gets there and he's like, "Give me my dog! Oh my god! Oh."
Why'd you say that name?
This cop belonged to a dog, and he abused it, and I stole it. So just don't tell him I was here. Don't lie to the police, just please. And then the way they set it up, so it looks like he's looking at Major, which
was that just another guy in a hoodie, or what was that?
I don't know, because at first I'm like, well, that's clearly Major, and I think that's that girl, and I was like, well, maybe it is, but it's just that he was not focusing that far ahead. He was looking just.
Were they even there? I think they went somewhere that wasn't even close to that place.
It turned out to not be that place, but I'm almost positive in that first shot it was that place. Okay. But who knows?
Because I'm a sucker for 28 things, and this is one of them. When you think the thing is the thing, and then you open the door, and that's not the truck they're in. That's a different truck.
But those kind of things only work if it's a 180-degree shot this way and then this way.
Yeah.
But they shot from behind him, looking over the bush where the lock was. At the pet store, I thought. Looking at fucking Major.
I don't know if they're ever in the same shot, but that's what I'm getting at is that I'm a sucker for that. And this was like, wait, what? Is that the... Oh, I guess it wasn't? It was very not... It did not click or whatever in my head.
That was weird. But it was weird for me too that it was a tracker on the collar and it wasn't in the dog, which is how you would think a rich person would do it.
And you would know that before you had it turned on, right?
But then B... so he somehow knows that it's not in the dog. It's the thing, which I don't think you would just know that.
They don't show him discarding the collar, though, right?
No.
So I think the collar's just been in that park ever since he got the dog the first time.
You think?
And they were just going to that park, and he somehow ran directly by their car to get his dog, and then put his dog on a bus. He releases.
Oh,
the
so
dog
your thought
by
is
putting it on a
he
bus?
did so like the tracker all along was in the bush.
Yeah.
He thought the tracker was in the dog
Yeah,
and
'cause he
then
didn't know
let
either.
the dog go on the bus just to get rid
Yes.
of it. Okay, because I was like, why would he throw the thing and then get rid of the dog?
Oh yes, that's what I mean. So it's
I'm like,
this.
he double whammied this bitch, just overkill.
So like it was actually kind of sad, and I
Okay.
actually liked when Ravi came home,
I
and
would have
then
liked to have said goodbye.
but like Major, who we hate, like was not making eye contact. He was sort of rigid in like his body language, and then he just quickly was like, I just happened to feel, like all fast, man. And yeah, Ravi's like,
Yeah.
I wish I could have said goodbye.
Yeah,
and
brought
like
bones for him.
and kind of says it like goes up at the end, and like they've been bonding over like digging up the field and stuff and all
Yeah.
that shit. So there's a whole thing going on with their whole like thing there. I love shit like that, because I have to grasp at everything that I love about this show to like get me through it. But yeah, that's super weird because like I didn't even think about it until they had that conversation. It's like, how's he gonna explain that the dog is gone? Don't people like the dog now? It's like, oh, I got rid of that. Like,
But
what?
what's weird is Bevino then later says, or maybe the FBI agent, I forget which one said it. They're like, we found his dog on a bus.
Or
like
something.
like the coincidence levels there are like would be too much for me. I'd be like, what?
Well, and like honestly, fuck. Maybe these things happen all around me and I don't notice, so I'm being hypocritical. But they were literally like, "Oh yeah, there's a GPS and a dog or something. They're gonna go, FBI some shit." And then Manor's like, "Well, I gotta go."
All
and
right, kids, that's my time to go.
And then like literally that night, well, I got rid of the dog, and I like Robbie was in the room, I would have been like, well, 8 things have happened today, and 2 of them involved you being weird and a dog. And I need to fucking ask you questions.
Well,
now
Robbie's
about
not an idiot.
No.
So he might pick up on this.
Oh, so that could be like a
and
later
bring
episode.
a thing later, yeah.
this. Yeah, interesting.
It might not be instantly like, I know what you did, but like now he might be like looking for things.
That would be neat. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but that would be really neat.
Probably not, but yeah. No, that it's very strange. Then we have
Keep talking.
Then we have the I can't remember her name. What's her name? Peyton or whatever.
I love Peyton.
So Peyton loves.
That was
Blaine.
the segue.
So so like
Let's
they
see,
get
yeah.
together.
That was awesome.
I enjoyed the build up to this, and then I loved the crash where when she finds out who he
Yes.
is and he's a murderer and a bad guy and
I
he's going
know.
to turn live and start all this zombiness in the first place and
I
what
saw-
the fuck. And like it's after she already got him off, so now he's like still out there doing things.
He has the immunity. No, all right. I love them doing accents
Mm-hmm.
and Blaine fucking continuing to chew the scenery. I think this is like when an actor's like, I'm in a band. Could my character like be in a band and do so? I
Yeah.
think he's like, could I actually do several accents? Could we like have me do accents here or something like that? Because again, with like he's been singing, he's been doing different weird shit and all that stuff. And I like it a lot. I like him as like a person. I
Can
think.
we
or
do a
something like-
musical episode?
right? I'd really like to do that sort of Buffy thing or whatever. And like the fucking, I don't know. Something about when people actually do something like that, like sleep with each other or like whatever, I realize that's sort of what I've been missing from like, and it's not so weird because there's plenty of porn if you just want to see that. I don't even want to see it. I just want to know that the characters are actually involved on that like level.
Okay.
Because a lot of this show has been very like sterilized for like very like
Yeah, it's
other
bubblegummy.
reasons. Right. So then when someone's like, "Oh, just go. I can't believe this." I'm just like, "Who cares? What are you even doing? This is like ridiculous." But now and like her look of shock about it, "Oh shit." Because I just slept with him or like whatever. Super real because you just slept with him.
Now, and how she ends it with like, just because you sleep with someone, you think you know them, but
So
you don't know
good.
them at all. And then like it pans out and like Liv is with that dude, and you're
Okay,
like, oh,
yes.
okay, who's not dead, obviously.
Okay, he's not. I was gonna say I don't
And
want.
I almost rewound to look at that head
At the
again,
other head?
but I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
I didn't want to rub it in, but I knew we were gonna get there eventually.
Yeah, he's not dead, and like he's snitching hardcore enough that that Blaine's like really sticking it to the boss man. So that's
Yeah, so-
interesting.
Did they explicitly lay out this plan? Did I just miss it?
It was not very detailed, but it
Well,
was
because here it was clear, but
it was
before,
it was set up as like he will drop information, but I thought it was going to
Okay.
be more of like, okay, so if he's coming to kill me, let me know. I didn't think it was going to be like I'm gonna destroy him from the inside out.
yeah, I didn't put it together because Stacy Boss goes to visit Peyton and says, "Oh, based on how old your intel is, I'd say it was someone in my organization 2 years ago." And he's going through all that shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Blaine finds out about that, right? I didn't make the connection that now Beefcake was going to be like giving more up-to-date information about Stacy Boss's thing, so that Blaine could give it to Peyton so that they could construct their case and all that shit. I actually like that. It's cool.
No, and it was cool seeing how Blaine unraveled, like, it's like, okay, that's an alias. This was an alias.
Yes.
That's an alias also. His real name is this. That was his father. And, like, you see them, like, cracking it and breaking down and finally getting somewhere with them with, like, okay, well, we have him for at least 10 years for this. I'll let him go. It's, it's bullshit. He's mine. He has immunity. Fuck.
And up until that point, so it was weird for me, actually, because, like, I was, like, waiting for her to come in and like say that shit or something like that, or I didn't even know if he literally had immunity or not, or like whatever. But I was literally waiting for that to happen, and I was all like, "Yay, that happened!" And then like when she goes to talk to Liv later, who like just flatly lays out how horrible he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I love this character though, but he is really horrible. He is actually really horrible."
Well, yeah.
Like
if you take really any of the parts of him, they're enough to be horrible.
No,
but he
it's
has
pretty
so
horrible.
many layers.
Yes. And it's like, because she says, like, he killed Lowell and he did this and he did that.
I was
He
like,
turned-
who the fuck is Lowell? And then I was like, oh, the British guy.
No, me too. And I was like, oh, yeah, shit, that's bad. And then she ends it with, like, and he killed countless, like
teens for their brains.
But it was something like, disadvantaged youth to sell their brains to rich yuppies or something. And I was like, oh, that's right.
Rich yuppies that he turned to get money.
For that express purpose, yeah. I'm like, oh, I guess he's the worst person ever, right? Whereas, like, Clarence and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're great, though. Fuck.
Yeah, but he's still good. I still don't care.
Well, I don't know if
but, like,
we should care.
Certain characters are bad, and they're, like, actively hurting your main character in a way that you're like, I fucking hate you. But he's doing things that I'm like, hey, he's kind of just skimming the top. I don't really care. Let's just keep
No,
keep
he's
going.
not really making her life too difficult. He's hurting people, but we don't really see them much.
No, and he's not killed any characters that I really liked. Like Lowell was alright. If you would have killed Major, I'd like him even more.
Kill Major, that would be a plus.
Yeah.
No, and like Lowell was trying to kill him at the time. That's no excuse, I guess.
He was trying to kill him very poorly.
I mean, he was trying to try to kill him, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Liv should have just pulled the trigger. Being a little bitch.
What are we, like, remembering
the
show now?
Her brain, this episode, is from, like, like a naughty novelist librarian girl.
Yes.
And that was kind of funny. The moment where she's rubbing on Bevino's back while, like, they listen to that thing, I was like, what's happening here? This is wonderful.
Yes, there were parts, again,
She
and
smacks Revy's ass, like...
Okay, so, like, parts like that and, like, the lip biting and, like, the finger in the mouth stuff, I was like, oh, this is horrible. But then I think I'm, like, coming around to, like, a lot of these are supposed to be horrible. I don't think I like them, but I think, like, in the beginning I was like, this is awful. I'm cringing to death. Help me. No, the cringe is over 9,000. And now I'm kind of like, that's horrible, because maybe that's like Liv's expression of those feelings, or maybe the person whose brain she ate was horrible when you really got down to it, and that's what
I thought also with this episode, so this episode a couple times where I was like, oh, they're doing this. That's very cool. I thought she was reliving a memory when she went and started making out with that the guy that helps the crippled dude.
Yes.
And then I was like, wait a minute. Are those just thoughts? Is she just thinking about that? Because they never alluded that actually happened. The wife seemed like she was faithful the whole time. She just had these daydreams, I guess.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's what that was.
So, but I thought the same thing, right? So you thought,
yeah,
oh, that's like a vision now. It's just going to happen and be this weird thing where you're like, what's going on?
Because that's a way better way to do visions, I think.
Then like, and then like a vision. I know. But then like I think like a minute after she does that, she has one of her normal visions, and I was like, oh, that's not it. I guess. Fuck.
I was like, what was that? What the fuck and like they never went into it. She never like said anything. So I was like, did it happen? Didn't it happen? Then like by then I was like, I guess it was just a daydream.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome though, and I wish now too that's how they handled these like
that was
things.
Cool.
Because that would be that is the kind of shit I'm talking about cinematographically or like whatever the fuck, where you could literally have these these hallucinations be like interesting.
Yeah,
they could be,
and you could do it as such where you wouldn't know like all the time if like wait, oh, this is actually happening.
Right, like, exactly. Because she would just be like, oh, this is the thing, I guess, and the guy's like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, or something like that. Yes, because they could go somewhere and like split up a little, and she could like hear something and go and like under the deck something, and then like, oh, we have to dig here or something, like some fucking thing could happen or whatever. But no.
There's a lot of potential, but it's squandered potential as usual. What else happened in this episode worth note? I feel like there's a couple more things that I'm not remembering.
I'll just read things as I read them.
Sure.
Like the beefcake dude zombied out. Did some stuff.
I thought that was funny, and he didn't have the line I wanted to hear when they're like, "There's 3 of us, man. There's only 1 of you." He's like, "Yeah, you're right. I wanted the classic like, you should get more guys."
Right,
like I wanted like one of those.
Really
but
not fair.
He just hits him. He doesn't. There's no
Yes.
funny payoff there. And he zombies out and goes full beast mode or whatever, and just throws a guy. And I'm like,
No,
It wasn't much of a payoff.
Action not
The
impressive,
dude
of course.
carrying a big machete, that was interesting.
The dude carrying a big machete.
The middle dude had a machete, and he makes a comment like, "Oh, you a big Danny Trejo fan?"
Oh, that's okay. I remember him saying that. I guess I just don't remember the machete anymore. Nice.
Nice.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His name's Drake. Okay. Guess we'll have to learn that.
Nah, he'll be dead soon.
I roofied you with horny librarian brain.
Now, does that mean that
I'm talking to you right now. I'm not referencing the show.
When they first got together like how he reacted just seemed like a normal dude's reaction. So I was like, did he eat the brain too? Because she said like, "Oh, I don't know yet. I want to. I could be your supplier, maybe." Blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm trying to think. I'm like, when this is all going down, I'm like, did he eat the brain also? Because he said no, I would react like this anyway. And I'm like, so that to me meant he's on the brain.
That's how I took it. Here's how I took the whole thing. Number 1, like when they got together, when he came in and was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Oh," and like wants to like take the blood and all that stuff, whatever. I was like, "Oh, this is awful," and then I'm like, "Oh, they can smash. They're both zombies. This is great. Do it. Fucking do something. This is awesome," or whatever, right? Sure. So I took it to be that like she gave in more and said, "Well, yeah, we should talk more. You want to come over? We'll have some brains, Like I don't want to be like your supplier, but like you want to come, we just like 2 people. We said we get to know each other a little better, right? We're just innocently like getting to know each other." And then they do that thing where he's like, "I was arrested," and tells the fucking story or whatever. And then they get to whatever, and yes, they'd both eaten the brain, so she really literally did, and probably knew that was going to happen, but was like, "Well," and all that shit or whatever. I guess whatever. And then we've already touched on briefly. In the end, she actually did sleep with him.
Yeah.
Which I love. That's great. People actually doing like human things or like whatever.
Yeah. Had a lot of that in this episode.
Yeah, this is gonna come up
between giving up with dogs and 2 people banging.
And 2 people banging.
2 sets of people, really.
People banging is very important. I've realized that more and more. Even this
for like human evolution and the keeping of our species.
You could say the human race depends on it.
I would.
No, but like in a show, I think that's the main difference. And again, I don't need to see weird like thighs and thrusting or something like that. But just the implication and like the steady. Yeah, have like the shirtless people in bed and like do the things and show me that there's a real reason, because some shit's gonna happen now, right? And they're gonna make the face like this is a tough decision, and now it will feel different than some other bullshit with some other things.
Sure.
I don't know.
No, like a decent episode. Like I felt like this is more of what I would want on a regular basis for a show, like on the rising arc for things to happen. Like the case I was going to say,
we're talking about the case.
Well, the case has been nothing lately. Where I'm like, okay, the case is just a reason to have things happening
and to give her weird
weird
traits.
Yeah. So the secretary, she's not secretary, librarian. The librarian is poisoned.
Right.
We go through a series of people like, who could have poisoned her? Oh, it was obviously the jealous other librarian because she wanted to put out a book. Oh, no, I wasn't jealous of her. She puts out smut, blah, 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 blah. Oh, right, who could it have been? Da, da, da. Oh, but it looks like you put out this book, and this book says that you used this poison. Oh.
Quick comment. I totally feel your pain going through that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
This was another case where I felt like, I'm like, wait, no, because that was this, and she called this. Let me call you. Wait, who are you calling? Was that person? Are you this person? Is that true? Were you just in the book? Is that a thing? There's like too much back and forth with the whole case.
And I feel like they wanted
camera
you,
stuff.
When they changed, did you write down what the pen name was?
No.
It was like Lorenzo something or other. It was like some like, name that, like,
Yeah.
it to me it sounded like a guy's name, like a Spanish dude's name.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I think they're gonna have it set up like
You
that,
thought
like
it was the
that, like
dude.
maybe that dude actually wrote the book and she stole it or something, and like
Yes,
he's
yes.
killing her. But no.
Yeah, I thought he might be involved at all.
And then when you met
He never was.
the flight attendant girl next door, you're like, oh, she's also Latin. Maybe it's her.
Okay.
No, not her.
Yeah, it was like a la something or something like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just told her that my flings because she hadn't had sex in 10 years or whatever because her husband, it didn't work. No, he just refused.
Which
What?
doesn't make any sense.
Who?
And he's paralyzed, right? So
Yeah.
shouldn't it not work?
I've heard of paralyzed people that it works.
Okay. I don't really know.
I think it's like a different thing.
deets. Mm.
Like I feel like legs is like a conscious, like I want to move my legs, but it's like when you're excited, something else just works.
Is it numb though, or can you?
I don't know if you can feel it.
That would be weird. But yes, he confesses, and it's some weird. It's the husband.
Yes.
So we should just say it's the
He was
husband.
growing the hemlock. What was it called?
It's hemlock.
Yeah.
What did he?
It wasn't a planter. You had insert guy's name here, throw it away, but he didn't. He gave it to another patient. They're dead now. You're now charged with 2 murders.
That plant's been all over town. Walter White fed some to a kid. I don't, no, I didn't, and his whole thing of, like, she was going to publish that, and I was going to be, like, a laughing or some bullshit like that. And then there was a pen name anyway, though, because I guess he was still going to put it out with a pen name.
Yeah, he called and switched
like,
the pen name so that he would make money off of it.
to get that,
and,
now that she's
and
dead
she would
or
have
something
no,
like that.
He
He did that before.
He switched the account and switched the name. So not only would he not be embarrassed, but he would also make the money.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would have to switch the account, though, because her account would just go to him anyway.
If he was going to kill her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not click with this case very much, like you're saying. The cases are getting to the point where I'm very much like, just, I don't know, fuck.
Just eat a brain. Let's do this.
Well, you don't even have to give us the extra people that it might be or something like that. Just don't show us.
She could just eat the brain and just...
Or something, right?
Like, the dead would still come in. She still needs to eat. She could still eat them without having to solve a problem. Like, you could get a week where, like, this person died of old age.
Well, okay, yeah. Like, if
not everyone is murdered.
If it's about her, well, because those are the people that she can autopsy and cut open their things or whatever, right?
But no, I don't think you can do that for most of these cases anyway, but it doesn't stop her.
I think whenever there's an autopsy, they can open up the head and get some of that sweet, sweet brain.
I guess.
I don't know. We talked about that in, like, episode 3, where we're like, is this legal?
But, like, for me, like, think about the episodes where, like, this person was strangled to death. Why would you ever need to open the brain?
Gotta weigh the brain. It's autopsy.
I don't think you have to do
No,
that.
Scully used to put all kinds of weird stuff into that.
But she was also things were getting killed by, like, aliens, and that, like, was pertinent information.
No, you don't need to weigh someone's liver because
if you were shot by a gunshot, I don't know why you would need an autopsy. What killed them? The bullet. Oh,
the bullet, yo. I have no idea. Again, I'm not a medical scientist.
I think most people would be like, no, I don't want that autopsy. I want to be able to bury my whatever and have a look at them and not have a big line through their forehead. Just my thought.
And, like, some brain missing and some hot sauce, like, scattered around the situation.
The rim of his head's leaking hot sauce. Did you eat out of his
cavity
cavity like it was a bowl? Anything else worth mentioning in this episode?
Probably not. Is that the end of the case?
Yeah, they bust the husband. He made me think of Oz with the dude in the wheelchair. Because being in a wheelchair in prison, that's got to be shitty.
Oh, God, yeah, his confession and all that stuff. I don't know. He just seemed like a shit. What?
What did you say about the
confessional? I said, oh, yeah, his confession and all that stuff. We were talking about that when we got sidetracked.
I was like, yeah, prison would be shitty. You're like, yeah, the confessional. Yeah. I don't know if you can wheel into that.
You can't wheel into the confessional at prison.
No.
No, that guy seemed really shitty, so I don't even, like, feel like...
I don't feel bad at all.
A lot of the people I felt bad about because they were in some weird circumstance or something
like, he was
going to
kill my dog. I thought he did. Like,
yeah, that guy, I think of that guy a lot when we find out who the killer is, honestly.
I think of that guy a lot when I touch myself.
When I touch myself at night. No, like something about that guy's performance, or like the weird way the case moved out or something like that. Something about that I was like, okay, I feel good about this one or whatever the fuck. But a lot of them, I don't know.
Major should have taken his dog.
Right? Major just keep taking everyone's dogs.
He should have a dog collection. Do you want a dog
A
collection?
dog pound.
Leave it in the comments below. I think that's about the
I think
end
we're
of
done.
this episode.
This is episode 11. I don't know if we need to talk about predictions or life.
There's
or
no
anything
predicting
like
in
that.
this show. Everything is a wild card
Start
of
away.
craziness. And until next time, don't die in a fire.